On the coming emotionally explosive chapter of The Bold and the Beautiful, the fragile foundation of Liam and Hope's marriage eventually shatters in a way no bone at Forster Creations can ignore. For months, pressure has coddled beneath the face. Misconstructions, divided commitment, and old passions that refuse to stay buried. But now, in a heartbreaking battle that leaves hope in gashes, Liam makes a final decision that changes everything. The occasion opens with a heavy silence hanging in the Logan living room. Hope senses commodity is wrong the moment Liam walks in. His expression is distant, equivocal, and counted down by weeks of emotional fermentation. She tries to reach for him, but he gently pulls down, a subtle movement that speaks louder than any words. Outdoors, Los Angeles glows under a golden evening, but inside their home, a storm is about to break. Hope has always believed that love conquers all. As the son of Brooke Logan, she grew up witnessing passionate loves, dramatic backstabbings, and miraculous rapprochements. She believed her love story with Liam would be different, stronger, steadier, vulnerable to the cycles that agonized former generations. But Liam has always been torn between two worlds: Hope's gentle sanguinity and Steffi's fiery intensity. Though he recommitted himself to Hope, dubiities have dallied, especially as Steffi continues to play a significant part in his life because of their son. Every time Steffi and Liam partake a moment, whether agitating parenthood or reconsidering participated recollections, Hope feels the ground beneath her shift. Before that day at Forster Creations, whispers spread snappily. Rich senses commodity brewing. Brooke, defensive of her son, watches Liam precisely during a tense meeting. Indeed, Steffi, composed and professional, seems apprehensive that a breaking point is near. When Liam and Hope cinch eyes across the design office, there's sadness there, an implied acknowledgement that the discussion they've been avoiding can no longer stay. Hope suggests they talk at home, intimately, down from hypercritical ganders and family hindrance. Liam agrees, but his silence feels portentous. Back in their living room, Hope pleads for honesty. She tells Liam she can handle the verity, no matter how painful. Liam struggles to find the right words. He insists that he loves her, that he always will, but love, he admits, isn't always enough. The constant pull between families, the history he shares with Steffi, and the guilt he feels over once miscalculations have created an emotional weight he can't carry presently. Hope's eyes well with gashes as she asks the question she's been hysterical to state. Are you choosing her? Liam hesitates, and in that pause Hope feels her heart chip. He explains that this isn't about choosing one woman over another in a dramatic romantic sense. It's about choosing clarity, choosing stability, choosing to stop living in emotional limbo. He confesses that as long as he remains wedded to Hope while still feeling undetermined feelings tied to his history, he's doing both women an injustice. Hope argues that every marriage faces struggles. She reminds him of their promises, of the battles they formerly survived. But Liam's voice breaks as he tells her he doesn't trust himself not to keep repeating the same miscalculations. He doesn't want to hurt her again. Hope's gashes fall freely now. She feels blindsided, betrayed by the veritably pledge of ever they formerly cleaved to. She accuses him of giving up too fluently, of letting fear mandate his choices. Liam counters that staying out of guilt or habit would be the real treason. The words, "I suppose we need to end this," land between them like fractured glass. Hope physically recoils, shaking her head as if refusing to accept the reality forming before her. She whispers that their son deserves a united family. Liam agrees but insists that children earn honesty further than forced happiness. Meanwhile, Brooke senses commodity is wrong and confides in Ridge. Brooke fears history is repeating itself, that her son is about to endure the same heartache she has known too numerous times. Ridge, caught between his fidelity to Steffi and his affection for Hope, remains guarded. He knows Liam's vacillation has hurt both women ahead. In his heart, he wonders whether this painful break might eventually free everyone from the cycle. Back at the house, Hope demands to know if there's someone differently if Steffi is staying in the bodies. Liam insists that this decision isn't about running into another relationship. It's about stepping down from chaos. He admits that he needs time alone to understand who he's without the constant reverse and forth between two important loves. Hope feels as though he's rewriting their entire history, reducing times of devotion to chaos. She reminds him of the nights they stayed up featuring about their future, the horse laugh they participated, the battles they fought side by side. Were those just chapters in a story he's ready to close? Liam's voice softens. He tells her those recollections will always count, but adhering to them won't fix what's broken now. He can't keep asking Hope to endure instability and second-guessing. He can't keep living under the shadow of choices he no way completely resolved. With pulsing hands, he removes his marriage ring and sets it on the table. The small metallic sound it makes against the wood echoes through the silent room. Hope gapes at it as if it's a symbol of everything slipping down. News spreads snappily. Steffi is stupefied when she hears about the separation. Though she maintains countenance, a flicker of emotion crosses her face. Guilt, maybe, or complicated relief. She no way intended to be the cause of another broken marriage, yet she can't deny the deep connection she and Liam share. Finn, watching nearly, reassures Steffi that their marriage must remain solid. He refuses to let Liam's choices disrupt the life they've erected. The pressure is palpable. Old dynamics hang to resurface. At the Logan estate, Hope defeats into Brooke's arms. Brooke's wrathfulness ignites incontinently. She blames Liam's habitual vacillation, criminating him of threading Hope along for times. Brooke vows that her son deserves a man who chooses her without vacillation. Hope still isn't ready to paint Liam as a villain. Through gashes she defends him, averring that he's simply confused. Yet indeed as she speaks, mistrustfulness creeps in. How numerous times can confusion reason heartache? Liam moves into the Spencer guest house temporarily, seeking space. Alone for the first time in times, he confronts his reflection in the glass and prodigies whether he's made the bold or most dastardly decision of his life. Bill Spencer offers blunt advice, telling his son that a man must stand establishment in his choices. Bill admits he's made innumerous miscalculations in love, but insists that clarity is power. Liam listens, but query still clouds his mind. Days pass and the reality of separation settles in. Hope tries to maintain normality for her son, smiling through pain. At Forrester Creations, she channels her heartache into her work, pouring raw emotion into new designs that allure the fashion platoon. Ridge still acknowledges her strength. Indeed, Steffi approaches Hope with conservative empathy, offering support without overpassing boundaries. The commerce is tense but unexpectedly civil, a sign that maybe all three have grown. Yet the emotional injuries remain fresh. One evening, Liam visits Hope to bandico parenting arrangements. The discussion is polite but distant. When their son runs into the room laughing, they change a regard heavy with participated love and remorse. For a transitory moment it feels like old times, but when the child leaves, silence returns. Hope asks him if he's truly certain there's no turning back. Liam closes his eyes, steadying himself, and says he needs this separation to be real. Not temporary. Real. Hope nods sluggishly, her gashes restrained but visible. She tells him she won't supplicate. She won't chase, however, she'll admire it, if he believes this is the only way forward. But she also warns him if he walks down now, he may not find the door open if he ever decides to return. Her voice is steady, stronger than ahead. Liam recognizes the shift. Hope is no longer the woman staying anxiously for his coming decision. She's reclaiming her quality. As Liam steps out into the night, the weight of futurity settles over him. He looks back at the house one last time, recollections flashing through his mind. Marriage promises, rumored pledges, quiet mornings filled with stopgap for the future. Outside, Hope dazes by the window, watching him vanish into the darkness. Her gashes fall freely now, but there's resoluteness beneath them. She may be agonized, but she isn't broken. The occasion closes with a montage: Liam alone in the Spencer manse, gaping at his ring resting on the nightstand, Hope sketching a bold new design labeled Phoenix, Steffi gaping at the ocean disaccorded, Brooke covenanting to cover her son at any cost. The music swells as the camera pulls back, leaving observers questioning whether Liam's final decision marks the end of one love story, or the morning of a new chapter none of them anticipated. In true Bold and the Beautiful fashion, nothing is ever truly over. But for now, Liam's choice has drawn a line in the beach. Hope's gashes tell a story of love lost, dreams shattered, and strength rediscovered. Whether conciliation lies in the future or this truly is the end, One thing is certain: the emotional fallout will ripple through every corner of their intertwined families, proving formally again that in Los Angeles, love is as glowing and as dangerous as the megacity lights themselves. As the emotional shockwaves of Liam's decision continue to ripple through Los Angeles, the fallout on the bold and the beautiful intensifies in ways no bone could have prognosticated. What began as a quiet, tearful separation inside the Logan home snappily becomes the central fracture point for two important families whose lives have been intertwined for decades. The end of Liam and Hope's marriage isn't just a private heartache, it is a public reckoning. The morning after Liam moved out, Hope wakes up in a bed that suddenly feels too large and too empty. For a brief second she forgets what happened. She artificially reaches to her side, awaiting to feel his warmth. Rather, her hand touches nothing but cool wastes. The memory cataracts back. Liam's steady but pained voice. The ring resting on the table. The door closing behind him. A fresh surge of grief hits her, but she refuses to let herself collapse. She has a son to cover, a company to help lead, a life that cannot break for heartache. At Forrester Creations, the atmosphere is tense. The staff has formerly heard whispers about the separation. In the fashion world, particular drama spreads as snappily as a runway trend. Hope walks into the design office with her head grandly, determined not to show weakness. But Steffi notices the subtle signs, the slight greenishness around Hope's eyes, the stiffness in her posture. Their participated history makes every commerce concentrated and complex. During a meeting about the forthcoming Hope for the unborn line, Ridge attempts to keep the focus on business. He praises Hope's rearmost sketches, calling them some of her most inspired work in times. There's an edge to her designs now: strong lines, bold outlines, darker undertones. Pain has stoned her creativity. Brooke beams with pride but keeps a defensive eye on her son. She knows Hope is channelizing her heartache into productivity, and while that may be empowering, it's also exhausting. Across city, Liam sits alone in the Spencer manse. Bill watches his son precisely. The important media Napoleon isn't known for emotional delicacy, but indeed he recognizes that Liam's fermentation runs deep. Bill pours 2 spectacles of bourbon and hands one to his son. "You made a choice," Bill says forcefully. "Now you have to stand by it." Liam gapes into the amber liquid. What if the choice was wrong? Bill's jaw tightens. Also, you deal with the consequences. But you don't live in the middle ever. That's what destroys people. Those words loiter with Liam long after Bill leaves the room. For times he has lived in the middle, between Hope and Steffi, between certainty and mistrustfulness, between passion and peace. His final decision to end the marriage was meant to stop the cycle. Yet rather of relief, he feels an painful emptiness. Meanwhile, Steffi wrestles with her own complicated feelings. At the Precipice House, she stands on the deck overlooking the ocean, the wind whipping through her hair. Finn approaches her gently, seeing the shift in her mood. "You're allowing about him," Finn says still. Steffi doesn't deny it. "I detest that this is passing. I no way wanted to be the reason their marriage fell piecemeal." Finn places a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "You're not responsible for Liam's choices." But Steffi knows history is infrequently that simple. She and Liam partake a son. They partake recollections, horse laugh, heartache. A bond like that doesn't evaporate just because circumstances change. Still, she loves Finn. She chose Finn. And she refuses to let the once unravel her present. Back at the Logan estate, Hope eventually allows herself to break down in private. Brooke holds her as she cries, her mama's wrathfulness stewing just beneath the face. "He's done this to you too numerous times," Brooke says fiercely. "You earn someone who chooses you without vacillation." Hope pulls down gently. "Mama, I don't want to turn this into a war." But Brooke has fought too numerous battles in love to remain neutral. She sees Liam's pattern easily and vows not to let her son come another casualty of vacillation. Days latterly, Liam visits to finalize practical matters, guardianship schedules, participated liabilities, the logistics of a life now divided. The discussion is civil but emotionally charged. Every judgment feels precisely measured, every regard loaded with memory. When their son runs into Liam's arms, his resoluteness nearly falters. He wonders if he has incorrect confusion for clarity. He questions whether separation will truly bring the peace he claims to seek. Yet he forces himself to remain steady. Hope watches him precisely. She sees the mistrustfulness flicker across his face. For a moment she considers asking him to stay. But commodity inside her has shifted. She realizes she cannot make her happiness on someone additional's query. That evening Hope takes a bold step. She removes her marriage ring and places it in a small velvet box. Unlike Liam, she doesn't leave it on display. She closes the lid gently, emblematizing not just loss but check. She whispers farewell, not just to Liam as her hubby, but to the interpretation of herself who constantly awaited for consolation. At Forrester Creations, pressures escalate when a tabloid publishes a caption about the love triangle implosion. Bill's media conglomerate is laterally criticized for the leak, though he denies involvement. Rich confronts Liam angrily, criminating him of destabilizing both families yet again. "You had a good woman," Rich snaps, "and you let your dubieties destroy it." Liam absorbs the review quietly. Maybe he deserves it. Steffi latterly approaches Liam intimately at the office. The air between them crackles with undetermined emotion. "Is this what you really want?" she asks vocally. Liam hesitates. "I want to stop hurting everyone." "That's not the same thing," Steffi replies. Her words echo in his mind long after she walks down. Meanwhile, Hope throws herself into a new crusade centered around commission and revitalization. She titles the collection Adaptability. The designs feature flowing fabrics varied with sharp acclimatizing, emblematizing vulnerability and strength coexisting. The fashion press praises her elaboration. For the first time in months, Hope feels a flicker of pride that's entirely her own. Yet late at night, loneliness creeps in. She scrolls through old prints, marriages, family recesses, stolen kisses. She wonders if love is meant to be steady, or if it's always fated to be complicated. One evening, Liam arrives suddenly, visibly shaken. He admits he's floundering with the silence of his new life. He confesses that walking down felt noble in proposition but ruinous in practice. Hope listens still. "Are you asking to come back?" she asks. Liam pauses too long. "I don't know," he admits. Hope's heart cracks, but she doesn't show it. "That's the problem, Liam. You know I know." Her calm response hits harder than any angry outburst could. Liam realizes that while he has been searching for clarity, Hope has formerly set up hers. As weeks pass, the separation begins to review everyone. Brooke channels her fury into fierce support for her son. Ridge cautiously supports Steffi, while maintaining professional respect for Hope. Finn remains loyal beside Steffi, still asserting that the future belongs to those who choose it designedly. And Liam? He stands at a crossroads he created himself. He wanted certainty. Rather, he finds insulation. He wanted peace. Rather, he finds consequences. The climax builds during a major Forrester fashion show. Hope unveils her phoenix gown, a stirring creation emblematizing revitalization after desolation. The followership erupts in applause. Cameras flash. Hope stands altitudinous at the end of the runway, radiant despite the pain that forged her strength. Liam watches from the crowd, overwhelmed. He sees not the woman he left before, but someone converted, confident, tone assured, no longer defined by his wavering heart. After the show, he approaches her confidentially. The chemistry is still there, inarguable and electric. But commodity abecedarian has changed. "You were inconceivable," he says. "Thank you," she replies, poised. "I miss us," he confesses. Hope meets his aspect. Steadily. "I miss who we were too. But I wa'n't go back to query." Her words aren't cruel. They're clear. As the season of heartache evolves into a season of reckoning, observers are left wondering whether Liam's final decision truly ended the marriage, or whether it inadvertently set Hope free. For the first time, she isn't staying for someone differently to define her future. She's writing it herself. The closing montage glasses the earlier one but with a subtle shift. Liam stands alone on the Spencer deck, the megacity lights spangling below. Steffi holds Finn's hand at the precipice house, choosing stability. Brooke leverages Hope confidentially, pride shining in her eyes. And Hope, standing before a glass in her dressing room, looks at her reflection and smiles. Not because she's unhurt, but because she survived. In the world of the bold and the beautiful, love stories infrequently end without twists and turns. But Liam's final decision has drawn a line that cannot fluently be cancelled. Whether conciliation or new love awaits, one verity remains inarguable: Hope's gashes weren't a sign of weakness.